Tobys Megatrain. Toby was delighted when he had to take Percy's stone trucks down to the harbour one day. He thought it a wonderful treat. Percy could not understand why. He said Toby. Because Toby had only a small water tank, he always had to refill it at the station by the river. Toby wondered anxiously. Said his driver confidently. Asked Toby. His driver laughed. He said, "The harbour was busy and Toby worked hard. Not only did the stone trucks have to be taken down, but when they had been unloaded, they had to be sent back, often full of things brought in by the ships. One day, the stone trucks from the quarry didn't come. Toby waited in the yard." He said to himself, "At last the station master came over." He said, and indeed it was not long before, with a cheerful toot, Mavis rumbled into the yard. Toby wasted no time in setting off himself. At the harbour, Toby found so many trucks waiting to go back that there was hardly room for what he had brought. Whistled the driver. Asked Toby. The guard scratched his head, and Toby's crew looked doubtful. Urged Toby, and so they agreed. But Toby had forgotten his small water tank. He had also forgotten that the journey was all uphill. He had to work hard and use so much steam that by the time they reached the station by the river, he had very little water left. His fireman put in the water pipe and turned the tap. Nothing happened. "Groaned Toby," said his driver. Then he winked at the fireman. The driver went on. Asked Toby. The driver laughed. He said, and went to see the signalman who told him where to leave the trucks. Toby pushed them carefully into a siding. Then he was uncoupled and they set off up the line. He asked, smiled the driver, and stopped Toby right in the middle of the river bridge. Said the driver. Protested Toby. His driver and fireman laughed heartily. They said at last. When Toby told Percy what had happened, Percy wanted to help, but his driver reminded him that he had a train of his own to run in a few minutes. Said Toby. And he did too.